Hi everyone. Today I want to share how Learning and Enablement used our agent, John Paul, to solve one of our biggest challenges. I'm Annette Rodriguez, Head of Product Learning and Enablement at SnapLogic. So the L&E team spends a lot of time, most of our time, deciding what content to build next. New products, new features, new updates, all compete for our attention. The challenge isn't finding ideas. The challenge is knowing which learning investments will have the greatest impact on our customers and partners. And that's the question that started this journey. Once I started looking at this problem different and in a different way, I realized we weren't lacking data. We were actually drowning in it. Every day, our customers and partners were asking questions in our community, opening support tickets, and sharing challenges with our teams. The problem wasn't collecting this information. The problem was connecting it. Community conversations gave us one view of the customer experience. Support tickets gave us another, but no one was looking at both sources together to identify patterns and uncover the learning gaps between them. That's when I started thinking about how could John Paul help us turn all of that unstructured information into something actionable. My team was already using John Paul to help with content development and instructional design, the usual suspects for AI and L&E. So I asked a different question. Could John Paul analyze both our community discussions and Zendesk support data, identify recurring themes? That was very important, and tell us what our customers actually need from learning and enablement. That question became the foundation for everything we're going to go through. So we started with two sources. First, our community conversations, where our users ask questions, share challenges, and help each other solve problems. Second was Zendesk support tickets, where customers report issues and work directly with support engineers. So the breakthrough came when we started comparing the results from both systems. When the same topic appears in both places, that's usually not noise. That's the learning gap. Those become the topics we should be paying attention to. The process itself is surprisingly simple. First, John Paul collects information from both sources using targeted searches across key product areas. Next, it declassifies that information into categories such as troubleshooting, how-to guidance, conceptual understanding, audience level, and frequency. And then the most valuable step, cross-referencing, when community discussions and Zendesk support tickets point to the same issues, we know we're looking at reoccurring challenges experienced by multiple users. And finally, John Paul recommends learning opportunities ranked by impact, frequency, and potential value. So instead of guessing what training to build next, we now have data helping guide those decisions. When we looked at the community data, several themes emerged immediately. Pipeline error handling was one of the strongest signals. Gen AI setup questions was growing rapidly, and users were asking about mapper expressions, authentication, SnapLogic's sizing, SAP integration patterns, and several other advanced platform topics. What I found most interesting wasn't an individual topic, it was the consistency. The same questions kept appearing from different users over time. And that tells us these aren't isolated issues, they're opportunities for enablement. Next, we compared those findings against support tickets. So this is where things became really interesting. So many of the same themes appeared again. Authentication issues, Gen AI connector configuration, database connectivity, pipeline execution and error handling. The support data also revealed topics that users weren't discussing publicly as often, such as SFTP compatibility issues, API management challenges, large file processing, and also scheduling problems. By combining both of these views, we gained a much clearer picture of where users are succeeding and where they're struggling. Once we had the data, the next step was prioritization. So John Paul scored potential learning opportunities based on frequency, impact, trends, and existing content gaps. The results were exactly the kind of insight we had been missing. Topics like your first Gen A pipeline and pipeline execution and error handling rose directly to the top. These aren't topics selected because they're trendy. They're topics selected because users are actively asking for help. That gives L&E a much stronger foundation for deciding where to invest our time. The biggest change isn't the report itself. The biggest change is how we think about content strategy. So instead of reacting to problems after they become widespread, we identify patterns much earlier. We can align training investments to documented customer needs, and we can measure whether content actually reduces support demand. And because the process is repeatable, this isn't a one-time project. It's a capability we can continue to use month after month. When training addresses real customer challenges, everyone benefits. Customers become successful faster. Partners gain confidence more quickly. Support teams spend less time answering the same questions repeatedly. And learning and enablement can clearly demonstrate the value of its investments. What excites me most is that this creates a direct connection between customer signals and enablement strategy. Instead of guessing what customers need, we can listen to what they're already telling us. Another exciting piece of this puzzle is that the AI-powered learning intelligence skill is now available for others across SnapLogic to use. We can continue to monitor these trends, identify the emerging learning gaps, and validate priorities with real customer data. The goal isn't simply to build more training. The goal is to build the right training. For me, the project represents what AI should be doing for us, and certainly in L&E. Not replacing expertise, but helping us make better decisions with information that was already available. Just difficult to connect it all. That's the power of turning customer signals into learning intelligence. The biggest lessons from this project, or the biggest lesson from this project, is pretty simple. Our customers and partners have been telling us what they need all along. The challenge wasn't collecting more data. The challenge was connecting the data that we already had. With John Paul, we were able to turn community conversations and support tickets into actionable learning insights. And that helps us build training that really matters. Thank you so much for watching and have a great rest of your day.